now begin audio of Special Agent FBI Sarah Corcoran federal affidavit on Durk Devontay Banks, OTF's leader and face. Disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only. United States District Court for the Central District of California, United States of America versus Durk Banks, aka Lil Durk, aka Mustafa Abdul Malak, defendant, case number 224 MJ-0650-Delta Uniform Tango Yankee. The criminal complaint by telephone or other reliable electronics means. Now, what we're going to do is break down this entire case for you guys. This complaint was signed off by FBI Special Agent Sarah Corcoran, who also gave her testament that these statements are true about this indictment you guys will be listening to as I read them to you. Now, this indictment was signed off by Honorable Magistrate Stephanie S. Christine, U.S. Magistrate Judge. It was signed at the city and state of Los Angeles, California on the date of October 24th. Now, the affidavit states, I, Sarah Corcoran, being duly sworn, declare and state as follows. I, purpose of affidavit. Number 1. This affidavit is made in support of a criminal complaint and arrest warrant against Durk Banks, also known as aka Lil Durk, aka Mustafa Abdul Malak Banks, for a violation of 18 U.S.C. 1958, a conspiracy to interstate facilities to commit murder for hire, resulting in the death. Number 2, the facts set forth in this affidavit are based upon my personal observation, said Special Agent Corcoran, my training and experience and information obtained from various law enforcement personnel and witnesses. This affidavit is intended to show merely that there is sufficient probable cause for the requested complaint and warrant that does not purport to set forth all my knowledge of the investigation into this matter, unless specifically indicated otherwise. All conversations and statements described in this affidavit are related in substance and in part only. Now we will discuss the background of the affiant. I am a special agent with the FBI and have been so employed since April 2010. I am assigned to the Violent Crime Squad in the Los Angeles field office and work a variety of crimes, including murder for hire, kidnappings, hostage taking, robberies, extortions, aggravated threats, assaults on federal officers, firearms violations, and felonies at federal facilities. Upon joining the FBI, I attended and graduated from the FBI Basic Special Agent course training, that is in Quantico, Virginia, where I received training in a variety of investigative and legal matters, including the topics of Fourth Amendment searches, the drafting of search warrant affidavits, and probable cause. In my current role, I am assigned to a violent crime criminal squad where I have experience conducting and assisting with multiple violent crime investigations as described above. I have formal training in case management, interviewing and interrogation, crisis management, crime scene analysis, cellular telephone analysis, evidence collection, social media exploitation, and handling confidential sources. On this section, we will be discussing the summary of probable cause. Bank is the leader of the Chicago-based rap collective known as Only the Family, or OTF. In addition to OTF's status as a rap collective, I know based on the investigation that OTF also acts as an association, in fact, of individuals who engaged in violence, including murder and assault, at the direction of banks and to maintain their status in OTF. For example, based on evidence collected during the investigation, including the interview of witnesses, I know that bank put a monetary bounty out for an individual with whom Banks was feuding named TB. Number 5, as detailed below, on August 19th, 2022, multiple OTF members and associates used 2 vehicles and worked in tandem to track, stalk, and attempt to murder TB at a gas station located in Los Angeles, California. The co-conspirators fired at least 18. Due to serious safety concerns, this affidavit does not provide the identity of these witnesses. Based on the FBI's investigation, I know that witnesses and or their family members have already received threats or have been contacted in what appears to be attempts to influence their participation in this investigation. Continuing part 2 of the probable cause from where we left off previously. The co-conspirators fired at least 18 rounds at TB vehicle, striking and killing SR, TB's family member who was traveling with TB. Number 6, on October 17, 2024, a grand jury sitting in the Central District of California returned an indictment charging 5 co-conspirators. The co-conspirators who were charged were Kevin London Grant, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, which would be OTF Didi, Keith Jones, David Brian Lindsay, and Asa Houston, with crimes arising from the murder, including murder for hire and conspiracy to commit murder for hire resulting in death, in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1958. U.C. United States versus Kevon London Grant, ETAL. Case number 2-24-621, Mike Romeo Alpha. Banks is identified as co-conspirator 1 in the indictment, which is incorporated herein by reference. 7. Based on the investigation as described below, evidence shows that Bank ordered TB's murder and that the hitmen used Banks and OTF retaliated finances to carry out the murder. For example, Banks and flight records show that an OTF member and close associate of Banks, co-conspirator, coordinated and paid for Jones, Lindsay, Wilson, Houston, and other OTF members, co-conspirator number 2, to travel from Chicago to California on the day before the murder, August 18th, 2022. Co-conspirator number 3 paid for the flights using a credit card links to Banks and OTF. Around the time that co-conspirator number 3 purchased the co-conspirators' flights to California, iCloud records show that a phone number associated with Banks text co-conspirator number 3, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with sick me." Number 8. Additionally, on the same day that the hitmen traveled to California from Chicago, Banks also traveled to California with another charged co-conspirator, Grant, on a private jet. Later that day, Grant purchased ski masks for the shooters to use to commit the ski mask to commit the murder and paid for the other co-conspirators' hotel room using a credit card in Banks' name. Number 9, earlier this morning, October 24, 2024, federal and local law enforcement executed multiple search warrants at the location associated with OTF members in and around the Chicago area and arrested Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston. After executing the warrants, the FBI learned that Banks had been booked on at least 3 international flights scheduled to leave the United States today. When Banks arrived near one of the departing airports, he was arrested by law enforcement personnel. On the next part of this audio, we will be reading the statement of probable cause. Number 10. Based on my training and experience, my personal involvement in this investigation, conversations with other law enforcement officers, witness statements, and review of reports and other documents prepared by law enforcement officers, I am aware of the following. A. Chicago-based hitmen traveled to the Los Angeles to murder a rival of Banks. 11. On October 17, 2024, a grand jury returned an indictment charging Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston with murder for hire and conspiracy to commit murder for hire, resulting in the death of SR in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1958 and discharge of firearms and machine guns in furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in the death in violation of 18 U.S.C. 924 Charlie 1 Alpha India Charlie 1 Bravo India Juliet 1. The grand jury also charged Jones with possession of a machine gun in violation of 18 Uniform Sierra Charlie 922 October. Number 12. As alleged in the indictment, on August 19, 2022, SR and others, including SR's family member TB, a rap artist known as QR, which is Quando Rondo, were near their vehicle at a gas station across from the Beverly Center in Los Angeles when 3 gunmen opened fire on the vehicle, killing SR. Law enforcement personnel subsequently recovered 18 shell casings from the murder scene. Number 13. At the time of the murder, TB had a public feud with Banks, aka Lil Durk. Banks is a Chicago-based gang member and leader of a rap collective known as Only the Family, or OTF. The feud stemmed from a November 6, 2020 murder where an associate of TB shot and killed an OTF rapper named Devon Bennett, aka King Von. Now, Bennett was a member of OTF and Banks' close friend. Number 14. According to open source reporting and witnesses, Banks placed a monetary bounty on TB's life. Number 15. Based on the investigation to date, including open source research, my training and experience investigating gangs and violent crime, and witness statements, OTF is a hybrid organization that functions as Banks-led music collective and a gang. Based on open source research, I know that Banks has attempted to publicly distance himself from suspected gang and or criminal activity. See Echo Golf. Lil Durk launches the DURK BANKS Scholarship Fund at Howard University with Amazon Music, available at billards.com. Lil Durk Banks Endowment Fund, Howard University, 12353302817, April 14, 2023. Rapper Lil Durk turned to therapy to cope with tragedies, available at said so. Lil Durk therapy, almost healed all my life. Morgan Wallen, J. Cole, May 29, 2023. Lil Durk says he ain't a felon anymore after criminal record is cleared. Everyone should get second chances. Available at complex.com. September 23, 2024. As described above in footnote 1, due to significant concerns about witnesses' safety, this affidavit does not provide the identity of these witnesses. Investigation to date, including conversations with other law enforcement agents and witnesses' statements, Houston and Wilson are associated with OTF, and Lindsay and Jones are associated with other gangs in Chicago. B. Bravo. The hitmen travel using funds linked to banks. Number 16. I know the following based on my review of Los Angeles Police Department police reports, surveillance footage, banks and flight records, witness statements, and homicide detectives from the Los Angeles Police Department and federal investigators involved in this case. A. Alpha. On August 18, 2022, the day before SR's murder, OTF members learned of the location of TB from a longtime OTF affiliate, co-conspirator number 4. After OTF members learned this, the following men took a one-way flight from Chicago to San Diego: Jones, Lindsay, Wilson, Houston, and co-conspirator number 2. B. Bravo. The one-way tickets to San Diego were purchased using an American Express credit card and ending in -2039, and in the name of the co-conspirator number 3, who is also associated with OTF and Banks. Based on records from Apple, I know that on that same day, a number ending in -9595, believed to be associated with Banks, sent a text message to co-conspirator number 3 stating, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with sick." That's the co-defendant / informant, me. C. Charlie. Based on my review of hotel records, I know that Grant rented and paid for a room at the Sheraton Universal Hotel Inn, place marked out. Facts associating this number with Banks, including co-conspirator 3 and Grant saving this number with contact names associated with Banks, and Banks self-identifying using this number in a February 2022 text message to an individual in Florida unrelated to this investigation. Universal City, California on August 18, 2022, using an American Express card in Banks' name ending in 1015. Jones, Lindsay, Wilson, Houston, and co-conspirators 2 stayed at the hotel the night before the co-conspirators tracked, stalked, and attempted to kill TB. Based on my review of bank records, I know the -2039 and -115 credit cards were issued under an account belonging to O October, A Alpha, and Astronaut Sounds LLC. Based on public information, I know that OA was Banks manager in or around 2022. Georgia Secretary of State online cooperation records show that Astronaut Sounds LLC was initially registered by OA October Alpha in 2017. A request of amendment was filed in 2021. A new manager, Banks, was added to the business. The Banks record also shows that the Astronaut Sounds American Express account had 4 credit cards issued to 4 individuals: Banks, co-conspirator 3, Banks' father DB, and OA October Alpha. Echo. Based on my review of records from a private airplane company, I know that Banks and Grant flew on the same airplane from Los Angeles to Miami on August 16, 2022, and back to Los Angeles on August 18, 2022, the day before SR's murder. Records from a rental property show that Banks manager OA October Alpha rented a house in Eniso, California from July 1st, 2022 to October 1st, 2022. Based on investigators' review of photographs of the interior of the Encino rental, I know that the video footage from August 18, 2022 podcast shows the host of the podcast with Banks wherein Banks appears to be inside the Encino house. Foxtrot. On the day of the murder, August 19th, 2022, surveillance video shows TB, SR, and others leave their hotel in Los Angeles and enter a black Cadillac Escalade. Surveillance video taken from numerous locations throughout Los Angeles, including TB's hotel and the gas station where the murder occurred, showed that 2 vehicles followed the Escalade for hours leading up to the shooting. Golf. One vehicle was a white BMW, murder vehicle 1, and the other was a white Infiniti, murder vehicle 2. Among other things, surveillance video from the murder scene shows murder vehicle 2 parked in an alley behind the gas station, where 3 shooters wearing black masks exit the vehicle, later identified as Joan, Lindsay, and co-conspirator 2, walked to the gas station and then opened fire on the Escalade. The shooters then ran back to the murder vehicle 2 and drove away. Murder vehicle 1 drove away from the area just minutes before the shooting. Hotel. Approximately 50 minutes after the shooting, surveillance video from an In-N-Out restaurant in Los Angeles shows Grant, Jones, and Wilson arrive in murder vehicle 1. The vehicle also shows Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 arrive at the In-N-Out in a black SUV. Based on a comparison of the video, surveillance video showing the murder to video from the In-N-Out restaurant, law enforcement identified. Based on the investigation, Grant was the primary driver of the murder vehicle 1. As discussed above, in addition to the driving, the vehicle Grant took steps to help facilitate the murder, including booking the hotel room for the hitmen. Additionally, GPS data associated with murder vehicle 1 shows that the vehicle was parked outside of a sporting goods store at approximate time that 4 black ski masks matching the appearance of those used by the shooters were purchased. that Lindsey Jones and co-conspirator 2 were the individuals who opened fired and killed SR. India. A few hours after the shooting, Jones, Lindsey, Wilson, Houston, and co-conspirator 2 boarded a flight from San Diego to Chicago. Once again, the credit card in the name of co-conspirator 3 was used to pay for the one-way tickets. C. Charlie. Banks books multiple international flights after law enforcement arrested multiple co-conspirators and executed search warrants at the locations associated with OTF members. Number 17. I know the following based on my conversations with other law enforcement agents involved in the investigation and my personal involvement in the investigation. A. Alpha. In the early hours of October 24th, 2024, law enforcement arrested Grant, Jones, Lindsey, Wilson, and Houston and executed multiple search warrants in the Chicago area, including a warrant to search the home of co-conspirator number 3. B. Bravo. Shortly after making these arrests and executing the search warrants on October 24th, the FBI received notifications from U.S. Customs and Border Protection's CBP Charlie Bravo Papa showing that Banks had been booked as a passenger on 2 international flights. India. A one-way flight from Miami to Dubai, United Arab Emirates, UAE. Uniform Alpha Echo, connecting through Doha, Qatar, scheduled to depart the evening of October 24th, and India, a one-way flight from Fort Lauderdale to Switzerland, connecting via New Jersey, also scheduled to depart the evening of October 24th. Banks did not board either flight. Based on open source research, I believe that the UAE does not have a bilateral extradition treaty with the United States. Extradition to the form to and from the United States. Overview of the law and contemporary treaties. Congressional Research Service. Approximately 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time, the FBI received an additional CBP notification that Banks had been booked as a passenger on a private plane departing Miami and destined for Italy, scheduled to depart at approximately 9 p.m. ET. C. Charlie. At approximately 8 p.m. Pacific Eastern Time, Banks was arrested by law enforcement in the vicinity of the departing airport. On this part, we will be reading the conclusion of this indictment paperwork. Number 18. For all of the reasons described above, there is probable cause to believe that Banks violated 18 Uniform Sierra Charlie 1958 Alpha conspiracy to use interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death, attested to by the applicant in accordance with the requirements of Fed Romeo Crim Papa 4-1 by telephone on this day, 24th day of October 2024, signed by Honorable Stephanie S. Christine, United States Magistrates Judge. This conclude Lil Durk's OTF indictment paperwork. Thank you for watching another episode of I Smoke Hip Hop Live. If you would like to donate and support to our platform, we kindly welcome that. But I also would like to tell you guys to thank you, like, comment, share, and subscribe. This was a breakdown of Lil Durk's Affidavit. Now, if you guys like what you see, come back for more. Love your family, love your kids, and truly indeed, stay blessed. Peace.